Hey everyone, it's Scott here. I wanted to talk to you about our pigeon problem that we've been having since we moved into our house, 2-3 years ago. We have this really big pine tree behind me that they, love to nest in. Prior to that, we had a big palm tree, had a couple palm trees. We had those removed. That got rid of quite a bit of pigeons. One thing that I did do around our pool area that probably decreased our pigeon population the most was this spike strip. So here's the spike strip I did. I just took a 2x4 here and nailed in those spikes that people usually put on the roof and flipped it upside down, and that prevented them from getting on there and drinking water. So that kind of cut their water source, and that was significant. We had tried so many things. We put little snakes on the roof. That didn't work. We put spinners up on the AC unit. That didn't work. We have that spinner up on the roof over there. That was a recent addition, just about a week ago. And that didn't really do anything, as we have come to find out. So then we ended up getting some chickens. And then we had sort of the same problem all over again, and really the main concern is that we wanted our chickens to free range during the day, whether we're home or not, and we had to leave their coop open so that they had access to food and water throughout the day. And we didn't want to put food and water outside of their coop either, because we didn't want to welcome pigeons and birds and things like that. So at first we were hopeful that there wouldn't be an issue, and that our chickens would go in and out and eat and drink as they needed. But come to find out, as we already had learned, is that pigeons are pretty smart birds, smarter than the other ones we've noticed around here anyways. And so we had tried these little owls and things like that up on top. We have this other spinner here. These little spinners that we have, floating around all over the place here. So none of that stuff really worked. It didn't really keep them away. It didn't scare them, that type of thing. And so I had seen another video of a guy who used like a tarp, and he kind of covered part of his coop, and he seemed to think that had worked for him. So we had tried, using a tarp. We've tried these overhead awnings and things like that, thinking that, if you had a space where pigeons didn't feel comfortable because they couldn't see, above them, that they would be hesitant to fly down near the coop. So here's our coop right here. And then here's, of course, those spinners that we have out. And so what I originally had done to follow up on it was I had a towel here, and I just basically paper clipped it up over this door like this. And our chickens learned how to go in and out behind that towel there, and it seemed to be effective. I mean, it didn't cover the doorway completely, so they were able to see eventually, like, oh, I can go in and out here. Unfortunately, it took them a little bit to catch on, and I had a little bit more of a gap. So the gap there, basically the pigeons figured out how to get in and out as well. So that no longer became effective. We'd come home, or I'd come out intermittently throughout the day, and there would be pigeon in there, and they'd be eating our food or drinking their water. So it was really, really pretty frustrating. And so, I scrapped that idea, and so I actually just used things around our house. There's a spare piece of plywood here. And basically what I did was just made a hinge, 2 hinges there, and then I had to put another board on the inside here. I'll show you from the inside what we did. just to create more space there. And then, you know, we just bolted the hinge in on both sides, or on here, and then we just took a spring and attached it to either spot here. And then on the flip side, I just used an eye bolt on this side, exterior door per se, and adjusted the tension enough. As you can see, I had several screw holes there until I had the right amount of tension on it to where the door basically comes back to right where we need it. So then the next problem I had is figuring out, you know, our chickens needed to figure out how to use the door. And so the two things I did with that were with food. So at first, you know, that wood plank, they were afraid of it. They were, you know, hesitant about pushing on it and trying to get through. And of course, we don't want that because they need to be able to get to their food and water. So basically, you know, I take something that they really like their grubs. You know, I shook it around, and you know, eventually a couple of them, you know, went in and out. And then the next thing I ended up doing to encourage them actually was to put something they were already aware of. So what we used was this white towel here, and I just laid that over the top. This white towel here, and I just laid that over the top. And so that was very similar to what they had already had before. And so that actually was really significant because then they were already kind of trained to push the white towel to go in and out of the coop. So that was very helpful. And then, you know, just to solidify and make me at peace, what I end up doing is coming over here and, you know, getting the bugs out that they like. So we'll get a little bit of these bugs. And then we'll see if we can show you how this works. So, you know, definitely get their attention. And then what I like to do is come in the back door here, throw it in so that they can see it and they know it's there. And then the goal, of course, is that they push the door and they go in. Go on, Mabel, you know how to do it. We need to take those paper clips off that towel that are still on there. But they're very new to this. I just did this today, so they're still trying to kind of figure it out. So of course you want to be able to monitor them and make sure that they get it good and figured out. I wouldn't leave them, you know, for the day until you were certain that they knew how to get in and out of there to get food and water. But, you know, of course, the most significant thing is that the pigeons, you know, they don't know how to go in and out. So, you know, our chickens do. They'll show you, and the pigeons don't. So it's been the best thing by far, hands down, over Mr. Owl there and the spinners and, you know, all the other deterrents we've tried that have been ineffective. So let's see if we can't get them to show you how this thing works, because it's actually pretty cool. So maybe we'll come in, get them excited, show them the door. And I'm not sure how hungry they are at this point, even though they really love those treats, because we've done this a couple times today already. they've already eaten, so. The other great thing that we notice is that when they go in and out, they usually do it with some good speed, and that actually helps the door recoil back into place, right, pretty much centered, which is also important so that there's not much of a gap for the pigeons to go in and out. Now, the other recommendation I might make is that you make the door bigger, closer to the size of the actual the doorway. The coop doorway, but I just wanted to try this. I just found some scrap pieces of wood around the yard, and sort of pieced this together, and yeah, it's been really great. So, oh, here goes Hazel. There she goes. So right on in there. So we'll see if the others follow suit when they get excited about her eating. Here goes Mabel. There you go. Hazel's gonna eat it all up. So as you can see, it's definitely going to take some getting used to. There they go. Right on in. That's Daisy. Looks like Dixie's stuck over here.